Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 10 fragrances that would make an incredible signature scent. They're versatile, head-turning, confidence-boosting, and that's really what I was looking for. I'm going to begin with the latest fragrance to join my collection. I spritzed this on this morning. It's Penhaligon's The Favorite. This bottle was sent to me complimentary. It just arrived, but I first discovered this fragrance a few months back whenever I visited the Penhaligon's counter. I was smelling around, and the sales associate who was helping me showed me this fragrance, and she said, "This is one of the top sellers. Everybody really loves it." There was barely any juice left in the bottle, but she sprayed it on the blotter card, and I remember vividly thinking the first time I smelled it that this was one of the prettiest fragrances I had ever smelled in my entire life. The only reason I did not take this home is because it was a little bit cold outside. Mentally, I was still in fall-winter mode, so I went with Changing Constance, which has that vanilla and salted caramel. It's a little bit warm and cozy, whereas The Favorite is perfect for spring-summer. Key notes include violet, mandarin orange and freesia, mimosa, iris, jasmine sambac. Base notes are musk, ambroxan, and sandalwood. You look at this bottle and it is such a standout, even among the Penhaligon's fragrances, which is saying something, but it's just so pretty, so dainty and feminine with this pink velvet bow, and that is exactly how I would describe the fragrance: soft, delicate, feminine, but there's something that is so special about it. It is easy to see how this could be anybody's favorite fragrance, really. It's a little bit powdery, a little bit floral. It smells very classic, but the dry down is so nice. I'm never really drawn to powdery floral fragrances, ever, but there's something about The Favorite. Whenever I smell it, it just smells like a perfume that I would want to wear every single day. It is so sophisticated, very elegant, but I could see this being a very highbrow, every single day perfume. I picture Kate Middleton wearing this fragrance. Most of these fragrances fall into that same category, understated luxury, including Chanel Beige. I think this would be an incredible signature scent. It is this bright, happy floral fragrance, perfect for spring, summer. But there is something incredibly unique about it. It exudes this power. And I don't mean it's a powerful fragrance, like the odor, the fragrance itself is powerful. It has such a strong feminine energy when I think about the woman who wears Chanel Beige, or if Chanel Beige, the perfume, was a person, she would be a CEO running her own company, driving a beautiful car, always dressed head to toe, looking so chic, just the epitome of class and style. That is what comes to mind whenever I smell Chanel Beige. Key notes include hawthorn, frangipani, and honey. It was created to be a simple, timeless fragrance. And even though it is not new, it still smells incredibly modern, so I think they did a great job. Ugh, so nice. It kind of invigorates the senses every time I smell this. Wow. It is so bright and very colorful. It always makes me smile that it's called beige, because if you had never smelled it before, you might think it would be very soft, delicate, perhaps powdery, very demure, but it has so much personality. It is very bold, considering it's a light floral. So nice, and the dry down is incredibly sophisticated. Just a beautiful fragrance all around. It screams chic. Another luxurious but understated signature scent would be Lovin' White for Summer from Creed. Cost was not taken into consideration when creating this list. I tried to be more practical when I did my everyday perfumes. If I ever vacation on a yacht somewhere really glamorous, this is the fragrance that I will take with me. Definitely. It just transports you to the islands, somewhere on a really large, expensive boat. It smells like luxury. Key notes include Bulgarian rose, sweet magnolia, Virginian cedarwood, ambergris, sandalwood, apple, and jasmine. And don't ask me why, I always seem to smell a bit of coconut. I don't know if I smell coconut, the note, or if it just reminds me of a tropical vacation and then I think of coconut. I guess maybe because it has this smooth creaminess. It is so nice. A little bit sweet and floral, but definitely fruity as well. I smell this fragrance and I immediately think of summer nights, tropical vacations, somewhere really incredible, not overly fancy. Again, it's a little bit understated, but still really special. My next pick might surprise some people, and this is one of two Parfum de Marly fragrances on the list, and neither of them are Delina or Delina La Rose. Instead, I picked Cassily. I absolutely love this fragrance. It is so beautiful. And I almost think it gets overshadowed a bit by Delina because it is so wildly popular, but every time I wear Cassily, it is like the best day that week or the best day of the month. At one point, I was grabbing this and I was wearing this as my signature scent because anytime I was out and about running errands, I would always catch a whiff of it and think, oh my gosh, I smell really good. It's such a great feeling whenever you can smell your perfume later on in the day and it's almost like, whew, okay, I smell really great. It has red currant, Bulgarian rose, plum, frangipani, Petalia, and mimosa. Base notes are tonka bean, vanilla, and sandalwood. And I think that is just the trifecta when it comes to fragrances. I love vanilla, love sandalwood, love tonka bean, so the combination of all three is pretty killer. It is so bright. I get so much of that sweet red currant right off the top. And I feel like it really lingers throughout the life of the fragrance. It is very well balanced. If you like Cassily in the beginning, you will love it at the end, once it's dried down. It's fruity, creamy, a little sandalwood to help give it some depth and sophistication. Just a beautiful fragrance. I think this would be an incredible signature scent. I love wearing this fragrance. It puts me in a good mood, and the fact that it lingers and there's projection and longevity, it just makes you feel so confident whenever you're wearing it. It gives Delina a run for its money, definitely. And even though I love Delina, it could easily make the list, as I've said before, I tend to want to save that for special occasions, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think you should save all of your best things for once in a blue moon, but saving it for weekends, date nights, that sort of thing, special occasions, I think that's fine. And then on a more regular basis, using something else. That way it doesn't lose its charm, it stays really special. I think Cassily is the perfect everyday signature scent because this is still a very beautiful, special fragrance as well. It smells incredible, but that way it gives you an option. Next up, I have Giorgio Armani My Way. This was also on my list of top everyday perfumes, and I wanted to be sure to include at least a couple more affordable fragrances. I realize that not everybody wants to drop $300, $400 on an expensive niche fragrance. It's not attainable for everybody, but Giorgio Armani My Way is one of the more affordable, very beautiful signature scents. It is such a classic fragrance, and I think you could wear this absolutely anywhere and everywhere. It's a classic floral with keynotes of orange blossom, tuberose, and vanilla. It also has cedarwood and musk in the base. Okay, here we go. It is a breath of fresh air, so pretty. Right away, I get citrus. I definitely detect the tuberose, which gives it this really nice floral creaminess. It's really beautiful. A little citrus, a little smooth. And then the dry down is so nice because you get a little bit of the cedarwood, the musk. It's smooth and sophisticated, but very feminine and pretty light as well. I think you could wear this daytime, evening, anywhere. The office, if you were returning to an office. I don't think you can go wrong with Giorgio Armani My Way. I do think it embodies the brand. When I think about Giorgio Armani, the brand aesthetic overall, I think this fragrance complements really nicely. And that it's a little bit more conservative, more sophisticated, very refined. Not necessarily a huge standout though. And I don't know how to say this without somebody saying, oh, well, I don't want that fragrance. But you can probably guess that it's not the most unique fragrance in the world. And it's not. It's not really a standout, showstopper, head turner type of fragrance. But I think that's what's so beautiful about it. It has this very natural, simple beauty. For some people, I think this is perfect, while other people might think it is maybe a tad bit boring. Boring can be a good thing, especially on a daily basis. If you're more of a classic, timeless fragrance type of gal, this could be perfect. I feel the same way about Rose's Musk from Montal, and this has become one of my go-to favorite fragrances to wear. But I wouldn't say this is the most unique fragrance. I don't think it's one of the most unique fragrances in my personal collection, let alone of all fragrances available. And yet I love to wear it, and it still draws plenty of compliments. In fact, I would say this is one of my most complimented fragrances. It's classic. It's a pretty straightforward rose fragrance. It has rose in the top, rose and jasmine in the heart, ambergris and musk in the base. That's what makes the dry down so special. I love ambergris and musk. Ugh. Two of my favorite notes. It's so nice. There's something that is so elegant about rose. Just is. But Rose's Musk is a bit sensual. And it's a bit fancy as well. There are so many different types of rose. I've never read the classification. It only says rose. I'll have to look it up to see if I can do some further digging and find out what types of rose are in this fragrance. But it smells so much like a rose bouquet. Every time I smell this fragrance on somebody else, I think they smell incredible, and I always hope that that's how people feel when they're smelling it on me. One of my favorite fragrances to wear. This next perfume is a classic, and it has been one of my all-time favorite perfumes for years now. I am so happy I added this to my collection last year. It's Dolce & Gabbana The One. The original, The One. I've tried some of the other interpretations. I don't like them as much. I don't think you can mess with the classic. It's just so beautiful. It doesn't matter how much time goes by, this fragrance will always be modern to me. But when I smell Dolce & Gabbana The One, it just makes me think of the most chic, sophisticated, luxurious woman. It's categorized as a warm and sweet gourmand. It has keynotes of amber, jasmine, peach, and vanilla. So nice. I've never really realized, but right off the top, it kind of reminds me of Chanel Beige. I've never smelled the two side by side. I'll have to do a comparison later on. Right now there's just too many fragrances in the air, but it's very bright and energetic. But the one dries down to be a bit more sensual, whereas Beige stays more floral. Back when I worked at Nordstrom, I used to spray this perfume almost every single day. I made it my mission to find the best fragrances, and I would just go up and down the fragrance wall, trying them all, trying to figure out what stood out. But I would always come back to Dolce & Gabbana The One. Always. It's just best of the best. There's something about the dry down of this fragrance. It's so good. I mentioned earlier on that there was a second Parfum de Marly fragrance on the list, and it's Darcy. I think this would be an incredible signature scent, a very powerful signature scent. When I think of Darcy, I think of CEO, somebody really sophisticated, somebody who has great style, because this is just one of those fragrances. It's not going to be for everybody, but it's amazing. And the first time I smelled this fragrance, I would like to go back actually and watch my first impression. I filmed the first impression. I didn't like it. My first thought was, this is not for me. I don't like this. By the time I finished filming the video and it had dried down on my skin, it was my new favorite. It's described as a floral gourmand. It has keynotes of citrus, bergamot, rose, jasmine, patchouli, and praline. The keynotes are very similar to Chanel Coco Mademoiselle, and in fact, I think Darcy lives in the same neighborhood as Coco Mademoiselle. They're not the same, especially when you smell them side by side. But I think if you love Coco Mademoiselle, you will most likely also really love Darcy. I think Coco Mademoiselle would be an incredible signature scent as well. Darcy's maybe a bit more modern. That first impression of Darcy is so funny because I didn't even put two and two together. I didn't think of Coco Mademoiselle at all until somebody commented on one of my videos and said it reminds them of Coco Mademoiselle, and now I can't not smell it as soon as I spray. I definitely pick up the praline though. There are differences between the two. It's a bit sweet, gourmand, a bit warm and sensual, but I don't think this is just a date night, sexy evening fragrance. I don't think you can put it in that box. I think you could wear this fragrance anytime. It's not really playful and flirty like some of the other fragrances on the list. It's far more straightforward. I think this is for the woman who knows exactly what she wants. We're down to the final two fragrances on the list, and it would be a crime for me not to include Maison Francis Kurkdjian Bacarat Rouge 540. This is such a powerhouse fragrance. I do have a full review on my channel. I will link it down below. But you can see I have definitely made a dent. Considering all of the fragrances I have and I'm constantly rotating and trying new things, this is pretty impressive. I didn't pick this up that long ago, but there was a period where I was wearing this constantly. It truly was my signature scent. I wanted it to be my signature scent. I was just spraying it every single day. I love this fragrance. It is intoxicating. It has such a strong cult following. There's so much buzz and hype surrounding this fragrance, but I think it's well deserved. I don't think it is overrated in the slightest. I don't regret a single penny I spent on this fragrance, and it's pretty expensive, but it's one of those perfumes that sits in a league of its own. There are just not a lot of fragrances on this level. It's very unique. You almost know exactly what you're smelling. When I smell this fragrance on somebody else, I can pick it out. I know when somebody's wearing Bacarat Rouge 540. Keynotes include jasmine, saffron, cedarwood, and ambergris. Bacarat Rouge 540 is hands down my #1 most complimented fragrance. I don't think there is a single time that I've left the house wearing Bacarat that somebody didn't mention the fragrance. They didn't say, "Oh, you smell so nice," or "What are you wearing?" Usually it's a very dramatic response to this fragrance. Now, you might not always want that level of attention. It might not feel appropriate to wear this on a daily basis, but I think for going out in the evenings especially, this fragrance is just so good. Give it a spray. It's been a while since I've sprayed this. Oh my gosh. Heavenly. It has this sugary cotton candy note right off the top. It's addicting. It just makes your mouth water. It's so elegant and sophisticated, but this fragrance is not understated. This is an overstated fragrance. It is very opulent, in your face, smell you the moment you walk in the room. And the funny thing is, I have read comments on videos where I've talked about Bacarat where people say that they can't smell it on themselves or they don't like it because it doesn't last. Blows my mind because this fragrance lasts for days. If I spray it all over my body, the outfit, and it gets in my hair, which it usually does, I'll purposely spray it in my hair, it'll last for days until the next time I wash my hair. I will always be able to pick up the fragrance. It's so strong that even when I go to bed with the fragrance in my hair, it then stains the pillow, and the next night when I go to bed, I can smell the Bacarat on the pillow. It lasts on clothes hanging in the closet, jackets, for days at a time. It is one of the strongest, most long-lasting fragrances. It has a ton of projection. I don't understand when people tell me that they can't smell it on themselves or that it's very light. My only guess is that maybe it's old, a bad batch, because the original true Baccarat Rouge 540 is incredibly intense. Just one of the most powerful fragrances out there. I love this fragrance. I'll never get sick of wearing it, and as soon as I do use this bottle up, I will absolutely replace it because I just don't want to be without it. I have to have Baccarat now in my fragrance collection. If there's one fragrance in my personal collection that could potentially beat Baccarat Rouge 540 as being best of the best, it is Greenwich Village from Bond No. 9, New York. A new addition to my collection, and I've stated this before, it's my new signature scent, I called it, because it is incredible, and I don't think it has that level of popularity of Baccarat Rouge 540, so I never worry that other people will be wearing the same thing or people will be able to pick out what I'm wearing. It's still a bit of a mystery, and I like that. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So nice. One of the most unique fragrances I have ever smelled. Oof. It is addicting when this fragrance dries down on your arm. You don't want to smell anything else. Top notes include cassis, lychee, and mandarin. Middle notes are peony, water lily, and jasmine. Base notes are ambrox, peach musk, vanilla, oak moss, and praline. I know I've been talking about this fragrance a lot lately since it's a new favorite, and I always say that it's impossible to describe, which I'm even annoyed that I can't describe it. I'm trying my best, but it is very difficult because there's not one thing that really stands out. I guess praline does stand out, but it's not overly vanilla. It's not really a floral fragrance. It's not really fruity. It's so well balanced. It is the most complex perfume. So addictive, makes your mouth water. You just want to eat it. Whatever it is, you just want to eat it. And I do think it is appropriate for daytime, but I also think it is a really sexy fragrance. I think this would be perfect for evenings and date nights as well. It is a showstopper for sure, and since it is relatively new, I've only worn it out in public a handful of times, but every time I've received incredible feedback. People go crazy for this fragrance, ask me what I'm wearing, tell me my perfume smells amazing. By far the best fragrance discovery I made this year, and it launched last year, but it will absolutely make my best fragrances of 2021 list since I am new to the party. Unfortunately, I'm late. Unfortunately, like Baccarat Rouge 540, it is very expensive. All of the Bond fragrances are, so I would recommend trying to get a discount somewhere if you do plan to pick this up. That completes my list of signature scent recommendations. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I want to hear from you guys. What is your signature scent? Drop me a comment. We will keep the conversation going there. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.